Caddy runs wide, out onto the sand there, loses a lot of places.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Drivers Room Sunday League, Season 5, Round 9, the finale, Tier 1. I'm your host, Kimaru, and this is the very final time I will make a commentary video on Gran Turismo Sport. This is kind of a little bit of an emotional video for me because I've made commentary videos for Gran Turismo Sport now for a couple of years, and like I've told my friends and people in the Discord, I just do the YouTube thing for fun and as a hobby, with no intention of actually making it successful as a lot of other YouTubers do. But today we are at Saint Croix, or Saint Croix, as I say, Saint Croix, and we are in the Pagani Zonda. Yes, Pagani Zonda, the big, burly, super limited edition model. Unfortunately, this car is also cursed by being in Group X, and yeah, we all know how good the Group X cars are in Gran Turismo Sport, so they will bring an extra challenge for the guys for the very final time of 2021. So let's go down and see where everyone qualified in today's race, and let's see the field. Starting off in P1, and sorry for the big rant, we have a Flapjack, or a big ramble. We have Flapjack in P1. We have Cartman Bruh in P2. And we have Mr. Gary, who decides to run a standard livery. But this time, I'm actually not upset, because the standard livery does look pretty damn good. It is all carbon, and this car screams, and it is basically banned on all circuits in the world. So that's good. A car that was built and cannot be used. We have Too Fast for You in P4. Starting off in P5, we have the mighty Dazzler. P6, we have Ricey. P7, we have Mickey. P8, we have John William Egan, or Megan, as I continue to call this man. In ninth, we have Speed 140. 10th, we have Mr. Driver's Room himself, MJR Mercer, ready for the final scream. And Lionel C with Volkswagen badged Pagani Zonda. So, good luck, gentlemen, and let this be a good final race for 2021. See you. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The final round is about to commence, and let's see where the final race takes us. Who takes the win? As it is a very bad start for Flapjack as he fumbles the start. Cartman is right up his heels. Will he be able to go on the outside into turn one? Past Flapjack? No, Flapjack manages to hold on to P1 for now. As we see, Speed is very wide out of turn one. Too Fast is up into third. Gary has fallen down all the way to 8th place. Mercer is attacking Gary as we speak. It goes on the inside of Gary, but I think the move wasn't clean enough, so Mercer backed off. Very unlucky start to that race for Gary and Mercer. Mercer looked to have a very blistering start in the final race of the RSL. But Flapjack managed to pull out a good start, even though the car started pretty poorly. He still is in front with Cartman right behind him. Let's see if Cartman can pull out some of his genius tricks, like buying gentleman hair from Scott Tenorman and making his parents into chill. With that said, we have them come down the big long straight. I do love this straight. A very difficult turn out to the straight. But then we have a hard braking into a very tough chicane. And will they be able to make the chicane without any issues? It looks like they do have a pretty decent control on the cars as well, even though they are quite difficult to drive. In reality, these cars have one of the best super downforces I've ever seen on a car. It's definitely not the fastest around in the world, but it sure is a fast enough car, racing car. As we see, Ricey is now up into third. He's holding off Too Fast, Mickey, Dessler, and Nessie, and Megan. We're just gonna live with it. We're gonna call him Megan. As we see, the boys are trying to get past Ricey, but we can't forget about the guys in front. I think Flapjack has this one covered for the very moment. Cartman doesn't look to be increasing too much into Flapjack's gap. We have Ricey trying to hold off Too Fast and Mickey for the moment. No, now. Oh, and Mickey is scraping off some paint of that beautiful Zonda. Mr. Pagani might not be too excited about seeing his car scratched like that. Maybe he had an itch on the right side of his car, as we see Too Fast also scratching some paint of his beautiful Zonda. Starting off to lap 2, Mr. Ricey is still staying in front, and this energy that I'm producing, I think I'm gonna try and keep that for the race. So, we still have Cartman trying to chase down Flapjack. Too Fast still trying to chase down Ricey, with Dessler also chasing behind Too Fast. So Too Fast will have to attack and defend at the same time, and Ricey just has to defend. As we see, Mickey has dropped down to 6th place, and Lionessy looks to be struggling a little bit. I know Lionessy is quite a fast driver. Gary up into 8th place. John in 9th with his window washer, windshield wiper still wiping away. Mercer in 10th. He's gotten himself ahead of Speed. Speed probably had an accident somewhere, with a new fastest sector for Speed as well. Ricey looks to have gotten himself a little gap now to down to Dessler. Dessler has had a very tough 2 last seasons of DRSL. Maybe the car and track combos hasn't exactly been his forte for these 2 seasons, as we've seen him struggle. I have raced with Dessler many times, and he is definitely not one of the easier guys to race, because he's so blistering fast. But then again, like me, he probably has his good tracks and cars combos, and his bad ones, and this could potentially be one of the bad. But he's doing good so far in 4th, and maybe he can pull out some magic tricks from doing better pit strategies. As we also see, these cars are quite thirsty. We're only on lap 2, and the cars are at almost 50% left of their fuel. And let's take a look up the field, as we see, yeah, we're closing to 50% fuel. So in 4 laps, these cars will have drunk all of their fuel. I think we are looking at potentially a 3 or a 4 stopper for this race. I don't expect anyone to do a no stopper in this one. That I think is pretty much impossible. Now, Mickey still in 6th. I think we are looking at a few big gaps down the field right now. And Linus is not hanging on at all. He's moving around like a fish stuck on land, maybe. But he's doing his best. He will have to kick up his pace pretty soon, as we have the mighty, blistering fast Gary behind him and closing in. John is just trying to keep up with the Gary man, Degret. I hope I said that right, Gary. Degret. I've tried to say it so many times, but you have decided to pick one of the most difficult names I've ever seen. So it's difficult for me to actually learn it. Maybe if I was German, I could have learned it. I've also tried to ask my father, who speaks German, to help me with it. And yeah, even he struggles. And he's Norwegian. He lived in Germany for a couple of years, and he still struggles with that name. So you've picked yourself a very difficult name, Mr. Gary. As we saw John, as we had our camera on John William Megan, but never mind. Speed up into 10th place, so he, oh my goodness. Look at Mr. Driver's Room's rare tires on this car. Holy crap. What is he doing to those tires? Is he burning them with a torch? Come on, Mercer. Catch up to the rest. As we see, Flapjack is still in front of Cartman and hasn't really lost a step yet. And these cars are rear-wheel drive or mid-engine. I think mid-engine or rear engine. Yeah, mid-engine is probably what these cars are. And they do tear on their rear tires a little bit more. As we can see in the graph there, the front tires are barely touched and the rear tires have taken a beating already, and it's just lap 3. Starting off the lap 4, we have oh wow, Cartman has used a lot more fuel than Flapjack, so he's really pushing the car now. He's doing everything he can just to catch up to Flapjack, but this looks to be his race to lose. But anything can happen. We still have about 20 minutes remaining. Ricey is still in front of Dazzler. He hasn't been able to get away from him too much yet. But he's still doing a good job, and Dazzler is closing in. Dazzler is looking for a move on Ricey. Ricey's going very wide out of that turn. Dazzler's going on the inside, and oh wow, good move from Dazzler as Ricey got a little scared there and put his car almost into the wall. And Dazzler will now take up the chase to Cartman and Flapjack. Good move from Dazzler, as we see Dazzler just rushing on. Charging on, as we should say. Too Fast also looking for an easy kill on Ricey, as we come back in a few moments. Sorry about that, had to clear up my nose. Mickey now still in 6th place, as we see Too Fast is closing in on Ricey. Could be a few more corners until he catches up completely. Gary now in 7th. He He has passed Lionel SE, and Lionel SE has dropped down to 9th. So I think Lionel SE has been outside of the track. Or maybe Lionel SE is conserving fuel. He looks to have increasingly more than his opponents at the moment. Maybe his strategy is to try and do a one-stopper, and that entails that he will have to save a crap ton of fuel as we try to avoid the S word, also known as something that, yeah, we're skipping that. Speed 140 there, Mercer in 10th, 11th, and Mercer has been into the pits. He has taken on a lot of fuel, and new tires. It's probably going to be a two-stopper for Mercer. Flapjack diving into the pits. His tires have had enough. Same with Cartman, also diving into the pits with 3% left in the tank, and Flapjack with 11. Dazzler into the pits as well with 10 in the tank. We have Ricey into the pits with 8 in the tank, and Dazzler with 10 in the tank. Mickey 5. Holy. Too Fast with 2% left in the tank. So we do see a significant change of the fuel usage for all of the guys. As we see, Gary is going optimistically for another lap around the circuit. John William Egan still also staying out. He comes out right behind Flapjack, and Flapjack will ultimately have a lot better grip and power to deal with. Lionel SE also has been one of the guys that stays out, and he almost puts the car into a tailspin there. Gets a little drift out of what I believe is turn 3. We have Cartman chasing up behind. Let's see if Lionel SE doesn't hold him up too much. Dazzler comes out in 6th. We have Ricey in 7th. We have Too Fast in 8th. Mickey in 9th. Speed in 10th. And Mercer has caught up to Speed. Let's see if Mercer can pass Speed. Speed is also a very fast racer, so it will not be easy for Mr. Driver's Room. Flapjack is just trying to catch up to Gary, and Gary is hoping to make one final fast stint and get his car home with maybe one stop less than the rest of the gang. You see, Gary will start to struggle a little bit on his tires. Let's go for an onboard view with Mr. Flapjack. Flapjack is short shifting quite a bit, trying to conserve his fuel. As we see Gary diving into the pits. That was half a lap with Mr. Flapjack. As we see, Cartman is rounding turn 1. And Lionel SE takes a chance, stays out for one more. Dazzler now closing in on Lionel SE a bit by bit. Ricey in front of Too Fast. Ricey, of course, pure gentleman. A very good commentator as well. He has retired for the moment, but let's hope to see him back in the commentary booth next year. So he's one of our commentators, but he has taken a break. It's always good to take a break from the commentary and maybe have some refreshed fuel and fire for the tank in the future. As we see Mickey in 7th ahead of Gary, as he has come out in 8th. So I think Gary has attempted he has attempted a one-stop, so he's probably going to stay out for the remainder of this race. And that could mean that Gary could potentially get back into top 3 if he is fast enough and can get past Mickey in a sensible manner. No way through Mickey in this stretch of road. Desperately looking for a way through Mickey. Or past him, not through him. He's right up his gearbox. Going for an inside move on the exit of the bridge. Mickey is not willing to make this easy, as Mickey has the inside into the next corner. Gary will have to gather some height and get the better exit out of this big righty. And manages to make that move stick perfectly. Collected height from a different place around the track and got himself through Mickey. Mickey will now try and attempt to stay behind for as long as possible, as we see Linus into the pits with 4% left in the tank. Linus has been very nice, or what's the word? He has saved a lot of fuel. As we see John almost clapping into the wall, clapping it into the wall. Speed barely staying ahead of Mercer. As we see, Mercer has no fuel left. He has to go in and get some more rocket fuel into the rocket tank. Flapjack is out on, let's see, 3-lap old tires. And they are already starting to show wear. Will he be able to survive until the very end? Cartman in 2nd, still hasn't been able to catch up that much. One race where Cartman might have to see himself beat by Flapjack. Dazzler in 3rd. He probably just has to nurse the car home and conserve his ultimate attack and try and get the car home with enough fuel and tires. Ricey is still in front of Too Fast. Too Fast still hasn't been able to catch up that much to Ricey, but it doesn't at least stop him from trying, as we see Ricey very wiggly out of that hairpin into the 90-degree right, the left. Oh, very slidey. At least what it looks from the camera. Oh, yeah, very slidey from Ricey's car there. Too much of those, and Too Fast will close in by tiny margins. Mickey now has lost the slipstream to Gary. Megan. We have Nessie out in 9th. Speed has used a lot of his rear tires. We have Mercer coming out there after his pit stop, and he has taken on a lot of fuel. That should last him to the very end with 9 minutes to go of the finale race. It is the very final DRSL race of this year, the very final official race, as we see Too Fast into the pits. And Too Fast is taking on a lot of fuel. That will put him behind John. And we have Speed 140 into the pits as well, with damage to his front right end splitter. So he's probably clapped the wall somewhere. As we see, Mercer has also clapped the wall. No! Alright, as we take a look back with Mr. Driver's Room himself, the most recent of accidents. And we can take a look. Oh, and he just understeers right out into that barrier. At least it is light damage in oh, as we almost see Mercer lift off there. A classic Le Mans footage right there, ladies and gentlemen. Classic Le Mans, where the LMPs almost take off on the bumpy hills, bumpy roads of Le Mans circuit. Oh, very, very scary. At least there's enough downforce to keep the car planted on track. Flapjack is looking low on fuel. He will have to go in and get some more Bam Bam juice into that rocket car. And to be able to stay out. Same with Cartman, so it's going to be a 2-stopper for these gentlemen. And I think also Dessler will have to go into the pits and get some more rocket fuel. Ricey coming up now in 4th, and he has dropped. Oh yeah, he has dropped Too Fast because Too Fast went into the pits. Gary will probably be good on fuel until the checkered flag. Mickey, I think he should be good on fuel and tires until the checkered flag, as well as we see him with a little bit of a lag spike there. Too Fast in 7th. He has a little bit of a catching up to do. John in 8th. We have Nessie in 9th, coming up to scare the living daylights out of John, as we see Flapjack into the pits with 1% in the tank. Cartman with 2 in the tank. And Nessie is on the hunt for Mr. John. Flapjack coming out of the pits, still in the lead. We have Cartman still filling up his tank. We have Gary in 2nd place, ladies and gentlemen. Cartman comes out behind the German. Gary the Gret. He is... Oh, Cartman will have enough... Well, he will have newer tires now to take up the fight to Gary. I don't think Gary can do much to hold on to 2nd place. But he's definitely not going to make that easy for Cartman to get past Gary. Dessler down in 4th. We have Too Fast in 5th. We have Ricey has also been into the pits to change tires and fuel for the last time. John there. We have Nessie catching up to John. He's very close now to make a move on John. As As we see, Nessie is looking through every crack in John Williams' armor just to find a way through. One little chink in the armor, and Nessie will be past John. As we see, Nessie is trying to go for a little bit more height out of the tough right-hander out to the big long straight. As we see him with a good enough amount of slipstream, and he gets past John. John wasn't willing to fight that too much, and made it quite easy for Lynessy to get back up into 7th place, as we see Ricey in front there. Speed, oh, Speed is doing some lawn mowing right there with his low Zonda. That is usually Jason Halder's job, to cut the grass. But Speed surviving Mercer in 11th, and has had a very bad race since he clamored with Gary. Flapjack has been pretty much unstoppable so far this race. Doesn't look like anyone has been able to get too close to this man. He has been on the roll today. Oh, as we see him just pushing the car to its limits. As we see, Cartman has gotten past Gary without too much trouble, and he's already gotten a pretty big, decent gap down to Gary as well. With a couple of minutes left of the finale race, it's going to be a very, very sad moment when we say goodbye to the Sunday League for the rest of this year. But don't worry, if anyone wants to join, this league will start up next year around middle of January, I think, and it will still continue on GT Sport. But unfortunately, I will not be commentating anything until Gran Turismo 7. I am going to take a long break until Gran Turismo 7 is out, and then maybe start up the videos again if we can get a crew of dedicated commentators, people to cover all tiers. Right now, it's just me and unfortunately LOL Power, only with the time enough to do it, and we only do 2 tiers, tier 1 and well, 2 races, tier 1 DRSL and tier 1 DRFS. That's unfortunately the only time we all have for this series, as the rest of our commentators guys have other real life commitments, taking them away from commentating. Too Fast now in 5th and chasing after Dazzler. Dazzler is probably let's see if I can get my words to collect themselves. As we see, Dazzler is closing in on Gary. Will it be enough? Or will Gary nick 3rd place from Dazzler? And I think Dazzler has deserved the podium today with the amazing drive he has had. No accidents and no issues whatsoever, as he goes very close to the guardrails there and just scratches some paint of that beautiful Zonda. And yeah, he has done a remarkable job today. As we see, Too Fast. Oh, Too Fast. Yeah, that car is really thirsty. It's drinking fuel by the tons. Ricey too, out of fuel. Will he be able to make another lap on this? As we see, let's see, Flapjack is on his last lap, Cartman is on his last lap, we have Gary on his last lap, and Dazzler will come home to finish his last lap now. Will it be enough to catch Gary though? He will have to speed up. One final lap to go, as we see Too Fast. Too Fast missed. He has to, oh, I think, oh, Linus, he has finished. John William has finished. Mickey has now finished. And he scratches off some more paint for good measure as we see Speed coming home to finish in 10th. And he's running out of fuel. Mercer will be good on fuel till the very end. What about Ricey and Too Fast? Ricey and Too Fast are very low on fuel. I don't think these two will have enough fuel for the very end. And I think... Is that it for Too Fast? Let's check on Gary. Gary is looking good on fuel for the moment. Maybe it's too low. Maybe it's in the high fuel saving mode as we see Too Fast and Ricey both looks to be running out of fuel any moment now. They're lifting and coasting like crazy. They're trying to survive. And I think that's it. I think that's it. I think that is it. Too Fast and Ricey has... Well, Ricey still has a little bit more fuel. He's about to run out. Or wait, no. Too Fast still has a little bit of fuel. He's just keeping the car in 6th gear. Same with Ricey. I think Ricey's about to run out. He's got nothing left. I think it's about 0. As we see, Gary has been passed by Dazzler. Dazzler has gotten past Gary. We have Cartman. We have Flapjack. Flapjack is about to run out of fuel. Oh my gosh. This car is thirsty as hell. Will Flapjack have enough fuel to actually pass the finish line with full throttle? Or will it run out just before the line? Oh, good drive from Flapjack. He has been unstoppable all day. Good run from Flapjack. Good run from Cartman as well. Flapjack was in a zone all of his own. No one could touch Flapjack today. He was unstoppable. As we see, Dazzler has had a very, very good run today. Gary, on the other hand, very good run as well. And Gary has run out of fuel. He's out. What about Ricey and Too Fast? Ricey and Too Fast are both out of fuel, and it's a lot of corners up to the finish. It's gonna be a very slow 50-kilometer race to the finish. 5th and 6th place for these two gentlemen. They have given their all for the very final race of 2021. And they're out of fuel. They are out of fuel. There's nothing left in this tank. And yeah, they just have to cruise into the finish. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the race there just finished abruptly. So we're gonna have Mr. Driver's Room car in the picture while I finish off this video properly. I would like to thank everyone that has been watching this season and the season before when I came back to making Sunday League videos again for you guys. Like I said earlier in this video, I mostly do YouTube for fun and as a hobby and as a gesture to make the lives of the Drivers Room members maybe feel a little better and just because the Drivers Room community and the Sunday League all together just deserve wonderful commentary videos. There are far better commentators out there than me. Like I said, this isn't more of a passion or anything to me to do commentary videos. I do it for fun, and it is enjoyable to do. I do like doing commentary videos, but I am by no means any sort of professional in what I do. I have a tendency not to remember any corner names or anything of the tracks. the turn numbers or what turn 10 or turn 11 or 15, whatever turn they're in. It's very difficult to remember, um, and that's things I don't really have enough interest in to learn, so it usually doesn't stick in my brain. But yeah, I do love this community. I do love the Sunday League, and I will return as a driver in Gran Turismo 7. So Mercer, please, if you'll have me as a driver back in Gran Turismo 7, I would really very much love to come back to the racing seat and give um, the tier 2 guys or even tier 1 uh, maybe a little challenge and a run for their money. And hopefully we can have a lot of good races together again. And yeah, um, I do I do love this drivers room community so much. And if anyone new has made it to this point and they're watching right now, um, please contact MGR Mercer right here on screen, um, and or me, and we will point you in the right direction and get you invited to our Discord. We're all for clean racing and fair racing, unlike what we see in the daily races, where you just touch one guy inappropriately in a race, like bump them or anything, and they go completely psycho and lose the Inizio on you and start trying to ram you and kill you. In driver's room, if you push a car off track or a so-called push to pass, you will have to wait and make sure that the driver that went off is able to regain his position, and then you are good to go to get back to fighting and battling the other drivers. Even if it's on accident or whatever, you still have to back off and let the driver that went off back on track and in front of you. That is our one major rule, and if it's broken, it will be penalized by a steward's inquiry. And trust me, we don't really like doing the steward's inquiries, but they are unnecessary evil if matters needs to be solved by a third party and a neutral party, and that's where the stewards come in. And yeah, with finishing that off, thank you so much for having me, Mercer, and the rest of the Sunday League. And I hope with all my heart that you enjoyed my Sunday League videos for this year. And if we can get a good dedicated group to do videos in Gran Turismo 7, I'll be more than happy to come back to the commentary booth and make these videos again because they are fun to make and they do put up a good spirit and yeah, the videos are cool to make and they do take time. They really do. A normal video will take a couple 30 to 40 minutes to make, and the editing also takes a bit of time. So it's appreciated that you all share your replays and tag them with DRSL, so we commentary guys can find them and make videos such as this for all of you. So, with all of that said, I will just finish off with saying I have been your host Kimaru, and I hope you all have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all of those things for any religion or whatever that celebrates the holidays. Just have a good holiday and stay safe out there. The pandemic in the world still isn't over, so don't be too reckless. And for any parents out there celebrating Christmas with their children, please drink moderately or don't drink at all and make sure that the Christmas is about the children and not about not about all of us that we have to drink and get ourselves totally um, pissed, as the Brits say. So yeah, thank you again for the third or fourth time, and I have been your commentary host, Kimaru, and see you in 2022. Stay safe, stay awesome, stay cool, and we'll see each other again. Bye bye.